What is going on, IF Warriors? This is Edward, and this is my full transformation story. Why I chose to do intermittent fasting over all other weight loss methods. You see, it all started when I was a little kid, which is why I don't even really know what my body type is: mesomorph, ectomorph, or endomorph. I speculate that I might be a mesomorph mixed with an endomorph, probably leaning a little bit closer to the mesomorph side. Uh, but I was a chubby little kid, and I got made fun of sometimes about my weight. So my brother was in track when we were young. My brother ran track, and and I saw the track runners, and I was like, hey, look at those track runners. They're all in shape. They're all fit. Let me go ahead and join my brother. We were in the same high school. Let me go ahead and join him in track. I did, and I ran track. I did really well. I was pretty fast. Me and my brother did really well, and I lost the weight. So from about 12 years old to about 18, 17 years old, I was thin. I would say thin or skinny, whatever, maybe not skinny, but I was not fat at all. I've lost all my baby fat, if you will. And my decision was to build muscle. I wanted to build muscle. I wanted to be strong. So I started my thought process of wanting to build muscle at the age of 18. That was the age that I said to myself, okay, let me go ahead and try building muscle. Let me go ahead and try to do this. Unlike most people who do fitness, who decided to do fitness since they were like 13, 14, I decided to do fitness when I was about 18. And this is where the downward spiral actually began. Because you see, when I started working out, I had from some friends. Some friends had muscles, or I felt that they had muscle, in sufficient muscle that they can teach me, or they can show me. And what I started doing was, I started trying to emulate what they were doing. I started doing their workouts. I started taking protein. I started taking creatine. But as I was taking the creatine, I started to get a lot of headaches when I was taking the creatine, and a lot of headaches. And I wouldn't cycle off because I felt if I didn't take the creatine, then I was going to be weak in the gym. And all my friends that are working out that have muscle, they take creatine. And it didn't taste bad. It had kind of like a very subtle fruit punch taste to it. It was like a watered down version of fruit punch. And I used to take it. And I also took protein. And everything that I didn't want to happen started happening. I was gaining weight, but none of it was muscle. All of the weight that I was gaining was actually body fat. And I got to a point where I was really, really big, and really only one photo exists in my phone. And the reason this is the only photo that exists is simply because I could not or would not get in front of a camera. I was too embarrassed of my body. I was too ashamed of how far I've let myself go. Because yes, I was fat when I was younger, but then I became skinny, and I try to move as far away as I can from a fat kid. So that's why I became so skinny, because I did all this track stuff. And then when I started trying to build muscle, I felt like I've completely backfired on myself, because now here I am as a fat kid, or fat. I ended up going up to like 220 pounds, and most of it was body fat. And mind you, I'm only 5'9". 220 without much muscle doesn't look comfortable. And I know you guys can see this picture, but this is the only picture that I have. I wish I had pictures further back before I was trying to lose weight. And I'm gonna get to why I chose intermittent fasting in a few minutes, but I want to explain the whole journey. So what happened was, I started gaining weight, and then one thing that really bothered me was that one time I was taking the creatine. I was feeling the headaches. I didn't stop taking the creatine because I felt like I have to do this. If I have to push through and lose this fat and build this muscle, I have to do this. And I fainted. I actually fainted once, and I was rushed to the hospital. And when I was rushed to the hospital, they told me it was a migraine attack, everything like that. And I never told anybody this, but I felt like it was the creatine that I was taking. And that was, to me, one of the scariest moments in my life. I was in a battle to try to gain back some type of, I felt like I went in too deep, and I needed to pull out of the weight gain, and I didn't know how to do it. And I was, it sounds weird, but I was scared. I was scared that I was too old now, even though I was just like 26 or 25, but I felt like if it was hard for me to do it at 20, 21, then how can I do it now? And I did every diet that you can think of. I did the Atkins diet. I did the 6 meals a day diet. I did high carb diet, low protein. I did high fats, which is kind of the keto diet. I've done food cycling. I've done different packaged food prepared for you so that you can lose weight. And I always got discouraged, and that's because I would hit a plateau every single time. My plateau would be 187 pounds, and I could never snap that plateau. And sometimes months, and I would just be at 187, maybe 186, on a good diet that I did or something. And it hurt. It was really hurtful. I understood that. It almost made me say to myself that I would never lose this weight no matter how hard I tried. And I know a lot of fitness experts, they say, oh, well, sometimes some people only talk about intermittent fasting because that's all they know. And I think the truth of the matter is, I've done the other things. And the reason I talk about intermittent fasting for me is because until I did intermittent fasting, I wasn't breaking 187. I didn't break 186. Once I did intermittent fasting, I literally went into a weight loss free fall, and it put me in the best position ever. It gave me the confidence that I could complete this task, and then I continued until I got to my desired body fat percentage, my desired weight. And I don't tell you, or I don't want to show you intermittent fasting simply because I believe all the other ones don't work. I want to show you intermittent fasting because I believe that if all else has failed you and you're still looking for an opportunity to lose weight, that this is your opportunity. There's this really cool quote that I felt because I kept trying to do I kept trying to do the fitness thing. I kept trying to do the protein and all of that stuff before I started losing the weight because I felt that that was what was going to build my muscle. And it didn't give me results. It put me in a worse position, and I didn't want to stop doing it. I had to snap myself out of it. And intermittent fasting was my way of snapping myself out of it. Because as I went into intermittent fasting, I also decided to leave all the stuff behind. The protein, the creatine. I was going to do it as natural as I possibly can do it. If I can build my body simply by just eating food and fasting without having to intake protein, if I can build myself that way, then I will be much better off than doing the creatine and the protein that made me gain weight and actually admitted me into the hospital. There's this really important quote that I really love, and it's by Edwin Lewis Cole. It says, "You don't drown by falling into water. You drown by staying there." Now think about how important that is. A lot of people say, you drown when you fall into water, but you don't really drown when you fall into water. You drown because you stay there. And if I was to just stay doing the things that I was trying to do, all these other things, with the media spewed, fitness information that one gets, then I still would not have reached my goals. But I wanted to share this story. I wanted everyone to know exactly why my trial and tribulations and what my story is. Was I super obese, overweight? No. Was I overweight? Yes. Was it uncomfortable? Yes. And did I want to stay there? No. Did it hurt me to be in that position? Yes. I would go on the train and I would look at others and I would say, "Hey, I don't think I'm bigger than that guy. I don't think I'm bigger than that guy." And people would just tell me like, "Yeah, you're just as big as that guy. You're actually bigger than him." And those things would just be like little knives sticking right into your heart. So I had to do what I had to do. And when I found intermittent fasting, the reason I love intermittent fasting and the reason I share it is because I know that if I can reach as many people as I can, then I can change their lives the way I changed my life. I honestly feel that intermittent fasting even saved my life because I was very stubborn when it came to those supplements when I first started. I was very stubborn when it came to using the creatine and the protein, even though it was clearly doing damage. And that allowed me to lose the weight and reach my goal. So hopefully this video can help you guys to understand where I came from. And if you're struggling with that same situation, hopefully this can help you as well. It can help you understand what I had to deal with. And if it's similar to your situation, then you know that you can get out of it. Have a great one, IF Warriors. I'll see you next week.